Okay, this is the last part of the chapter called as the digestion and the absorption. So come, let's get into the today's topic, that is the absorption of the digested food. That is the last process that was going to happen in the digestion. So the absorption is the process by which the end product, for example, the end product is nothing but the basic compound or the basic element which is coming from the carbohydrate, that is sugars, and from the protein amino acids will be coming, from the fats the glycerides will be coming, so from the nucleotide the phosphate sugars bases will be coming. So all this will be digested, has been digested, and now it has to be taken from the intestinal mucosa into the blood and the lymph. Why it has to be taken from the GIT? Because there are other tissues and the cells which are waiting for their food. For example, the brain cells which requires a greater amount of the sugar, so which has to be taken from the gastrointestinal tract through the blood or through the lymph. It will be circulating and reaching, and other parts like the liver or muscles, so all this will be waiting for their food to come, so which will be carried by three main mechanism. So one is the diffusion. So one is the diffusion, the next one is the facilitated transport, the last one is the active mechanism, that is the active transport. So what is this? A simple diffusion. Diffusion is the process which does not require any energy, and the movement will be from the region of the higher concentration to the region of the lower concentration. This is simple diffusion. So what are the substance or the basic compound which will be transmitted or transported by the simple diffusion? So it's the small amount of the monosaccharides like the glucose, and from the protein the amino acids, and the electrolytes like the chloride ion will be transported. Next, coming to the facilitated diffusion. Facilitated diffusion, even this is a mechanism which does not requires any energy, but this requires the carrier protein. Okay, so what are the substance which will be transmitted through transported by this mechanism? It's like the glucose, some amount of the amino acid, fructose will be transported with the help of the carrier protein like the sodium. So the last one is the active transport. So the active transport will be requiring the energy in the form of the adenosine triphosphate, that is the ATP, and the movement of the molecule or the substance will be taking place against the gradient, that is from the region of lower concentration to the region of higher concentration. So this active transport will be taking place. So various nutrients like the amino acid, monosaccharides like the glucose, electrolytes like the sodium will be transported, but there is a separate mechanism. So which will be transporting the fatty acid and the glycerol. Why? Because these are insoluble, so they cannot pass through the mucosa, so they cannot reach the blood. So therefore, first directly they cannot be absorbed. So first, what they will be doing is they will be first. Already they has been converted to the micelles, so the fat has been converted to the micelles. So this micelles will then combine with the protein globules. So the micelles, which is the broken fats, which will be combining with the small protein globules to form the chylomicrons. So this chylomicron is nothing but a triglyceride which will be transported by the lacteal's lymph vessel. So as I've already told, so the lacteal is the villi along with the lymph vessel is called the lacteal. So the lymph vessel will be taking the lymph vessels will be taking this chylomicron. So that's basically a fat, and then it will be transported. Okay, next coming to the assimilation. So what do you mean by assimilation? So it is the absorbed food substance finally reaches the tissue, and then it get utilized for their activity. So this mechanism is called as the assimilation. And another point is the maximum absorption will be taking place in the small intestine, and most of the waters will be absorbed in the large intestine. So these 2 points you guys have to remember. And what do you mean by defecation? Defecation is nothing but the removal of the feces. So feces is nothing but the undigested waste material, so which will be released voluntarily. So that process is called as the defecation. So coming to the summary of the absorption in the different part of the digestive system. So the mouth. So certain drugs coming into contact with the mucus of the mouth and the lower side of the tongue are absorbed into the blood capillaries lining them. Okay, and then coming to the stomach, so the absorption of the water, simple sugars, and the alcohol will be taking place. So this question is very important. So where does alcohol will be absorbed? They might ask you. So the answer is it is stomach. So small intestine, it is the principal organ for the absorption, because it's the place where the maximum absorption will be taking place. So the digestion is completed in the small intestine, and the final product will be digested into the glucose, fructose, fatty acid, glycerols, amino acid, and then they will be absorbed into the bloodstreams and the lymph. Large intestine, as I've already told, so only absorption of the water and a small amount of the minerals and drug uptake can take place. So remember, the mouth and the large intestine are the basic where the maximum amount of the drugs will be absorbed. So the last topic of the digestion and the absorption is the disorders of the digestive system. So the first disorder is the jaundice. So as I've already told, jaundice in which basically the liver is affected. So the skin and the eyes turn yellow. So why it becomes yellow? This is because of the deposition of the bile pigments like bilirubin and the biliverdin. So this is all about jaundice. Next, coming to the vomiting. So it is the ejection of the stomach content through the mouth. It is a reflex mechanism. So what do you mean by a reflex mechanism? It is an involuntary mechanism, so which is not under our control, and its center has been located in the medulla. So that is a part of the hindbrain. So before the vomiting, we feel the nausea, so which precedes the vomiting. So next, coming to the diarrhea. So 3 points about the diarrhea. What we have to remember is it is abnormal frequency of the bowel movement and increased liquidity of the fecal matter. So why the diarrhea happens is because of the reduced absorption of the food. So basically diarrhea is nothing but the loose motion. So constipation, in which the feces was going to retain within the rectum for a longer period. This happens because of the bowel movement, which was going to occur irregularly. Then the indigestion, it is the condition in which the food is not properly digested, leading to the feeling of a fullness. So what are the causes for the indigestion? So the first one is the inadequate enzymes, like the deficiency of the pancreatic enzymes, the gastric juices, then the intestinal juices. Any of these enzymes can cause the indigestion problem, and their secretion can cause the indigestion problem. Then the anxiety, food poisoning can occur. Then overeating can occur, and then the spicy food can also cause the indigestion problem. Okay, this is basic to remember. So sometime they might ask the question from this particular topic. So what is the calorific value of the carbohydrate? It is 4.1 kilocalorie per gram. Okay, and then for the protein it is 5.68 kilocalories per gram, and for the fat it is 9.45 kilocalorie per gram respectively. So then coming to marasmus. What is marasmus? It is produced by the simultaneous deficiency of the protein as well as their calorie. Okay, this occurs in the infant. So what do you mean by an infant? These are less than 1 year child is called as infant. Okay, so the basic problem, if the mother milk is replaced too early by another food, this problem can occur. The last disorder what we are going to learn from this particular topic is the kwashiorkor. So kwashiorkor is produced only by the protein deficiency, and it is not by the calorie deficiency. For the marasmus, it is both. It is the deficiency of the protein as well as the calorie. But for the kwashiorkor, it is only because of the deficiency or the absence of the protein in their the mere meal, but not the calorie. Here it is less than 1 year children. So, but here in case of the kwashiorkor, it is more than 1 year. So these are the two main differencing character between the marasmus and the kwashiorkor, which can be your NEET question. Now coming to the previous year NEET question. So this is the NEET 2020 question. So the question is identify the following correct statement. So they're asking for the correct statement with reference to the human digestive system. So serosa is the innermost layer of the alimentary canal. Is it? So the first statement is wrong because serosa is the outermost layer. It is the outermost layer. So the first statement is wrong. And ileum is a highly coiled part. Yes, this statement is correct. So ileum is the highly coiled part of the GIT. So you will be clicking to this particular option. So the vermiform appendix arises from the duodenum. So the option is wrong. It arises from the cecum, which is a large intestine, and duodenum is a small intestine. So the ileum opens into small intestine, they are telling. Actually, the ileum itself is the small intestine, which is the last part of the small intestine, which will be joining the large intestine, not the small intestine. So if you know the answer, where does the ileum exactly joins, you guys can comment the answer. So the enzyme enterokinase helps in the conversion of what? So the answer is it is trypsin. This is NEET 2020 question. So the trypsinogen is the inactive form which will be converted to the trypsin. So next, the trypsin will convert the chymotrypsinogen to chymotrypsin, and then it will also convert procarboxypeptidase to carboxypeptidase. So yeah, here in NEET 2020 they have asked two questions. Here in so this is the first question in 2019. So they are asking us to match the column 1 with those of the column 2. So first they have asked for the renine. So the renine, it was going to help in the digestion of the milk protein of the infant, of the 1 or 2 year child. Okay, so A is matching with 3. So first go for option number A and B. So option number 3 and option number 4 are wrong because here they are telling A was going to match with the 4. So that's a wrong option. So enterokinase, just now we saw this question, this been repeated. So the enterokinase was going to convert the trypsinogen to the trypsin, and then oxantic cell helps in secretion of the intrinsic factor, which helps in the absorption of the vitamin B12. So the absorption of vitamin B12 helps in the erythropoiesis, that is the formation of the RBC. So if this cell get affected or if the intrinsic factor is not secreted, the patient will develop anemia. So that's mostly the pernicious anemia. Okay, the last option is the fructose will be absorbed by the facilitated diffusion. So the option number 1 is correct. So the next question which is asked in NEET 2019 is, so identify the cell whose secretion protect the lining of the GIT from the various enzymes. So as I've already told, this is goblet cell. So the goblet cell will be secreting mucus. So this mucus helps in the lubrication, and it was going to line the GIT and protect from the irritant or from the other enzymes. So this is once again the NEET 2019 paper. So in NEET 2019, totally they have asked 3 questions. So this is the third question. So which has been given as the match the following. So Cribs of Lieberkühn. So Cribs of Lieberkühn is seen in the small intestine. So the option A is matching with 3. So only B option you have to neglect it. All the other 3 they have given it as correct. So the Glissen's capsule is related with the liver, which was going to cover the hepatic lobule. Okay, so the option B is matching with 4. So that means option number A is wrong, because so here they are telling A as 1, so which means it is wrong. So the islets of the Langerhans cells will be seen in the pancreas, which will be secreting the insulin and the glucagon. And then the Brunner's gland will be seen in the duodenum. So it is a submucosal gland. It is a submucosal. The Brunner's gland is the submucosal gland, which will be seen in the duodenum. So the option number 3 is the correct answer. Option number C is correct answer. So you have to match for C. So overall they have asked for 3 questions. So this is the Odisha's CET's paper. So they asked for what is Kwashiorkor. So I told Kwashiorkor. So Kwashiorkor is a disorder. It is a disorder of the GIT, which is seen in the infant more than 1 year. So it is seen in the child more than 1 year, and uh, it is not a deficiency. It is not caused by the deficiency of the carbohydrate. It is not the deficiency caused by the fat. So you have to neglect option number 2 and 4. So here they have given the protein deficiency not accompanied by the calorie deficiency, and the simultaneous deficiency of the protein and the calorie they have told. So the option number 1 is correct. So the option number 1 is matching for the Kwashiorkor. Actually, the option number C is the marasmus. The option number C is the marasmus, which is seen in less than 1 year child because of the replacement of the milk protein by others. Okay, so this is NEET 2018 paper. So which of the following term describes the human dentition? So as I've already told, so in the human dentition we don't see the pleurodont. So option number 3 and 4 you can neglect, and no monophyodont or the homodont. So in the option number 1 also they have given it as a homodont. We don't see homodont in the humans, so we see the heterodont. What do you mean by the heterodont? These are the different types of teeth which is present in the mouth. So there are 4 types of the teeth which are present in the mouth. So it's like the incisor, canine, premolar and the molar. So the thecodont, diffeodont and the heterodont. So this is the best option which matches for the human dentition. So this is the first question asked in the NEET 2018. So there's only one question in NEET 2018. In coming to the 2017 paper, so they have asked so which cells of the Cribs of Lieberkühn secrete the antibacterial lysozymes. So as I've already told, it is the Paneth cell which was going to secrete the antibacterial lysozymes, which will prevent the infection. So this is the next question in asked in NEET 2017. So which of the following best represents the enzyme composition of the pancreatic juice? So what is the mnemonic which we are going to use for the pancreatic juice? It is TCALPN. Okay, so here we don't see so the renin. So in the pancreatic juice TCALPN, we don't see R, so neglect this particular option. And then even here renin R has been given, so neglect the option number 2 and option number 4. So then the P here stands for the procarboxypeptidase. Here they have given pepsin. So pepsin is a gastric juice. So for the gastric juice enzymes, so we use the mnemonic PRIL, PRIL. So here the P stands for the pepsinogen, so which will be converted to the active form pepsin. So here also they have given a gastric juice along with the pancreatic juice. So we have to neglect it. So if you come to the option number 3, so here they have given you lipase L, amylase A, trypsinogen T. P stands for the procarboxypeptidase. So the option number 3 will be matching best. So here, this is the third question. This is the third question which has been asked in the NEET 2017. So here, A baby boy aged 2 years admitted to the play school and passes through the dental checkup, and the dentist observed that the boy had 20 teeth, and which teeth was absent. See, the question is very simple. So here what we have to consider is the child was 2 years, and what is the dental formula? It is 2103 divided by 2103 multiplied by 2, which will be giving overall 20 teeth, as this kid also had 20 teeth. So this third teeth is absent. So what is the third teeth? It is the premolar teeth, which will be absent in the childhood and which will be appearing in the adult. So the option number 2 is correct. So which hormone stimulate the production of the pancreatic juice and the bicarbonate? So the answer to this particular question is the cholecystokinin and the secretin. So which is asked in the NEET 2016 second phase. So in NEET 2016 first phase, they have asked, so which of the following guards the opening of the pancreatic hepatopancreatic duct into the duodenum? So the answer is very obvious. It is sphincter of OD. So gastric acid is secreted by which cell they are asking. So basically the gastric. So what is the acid that we see in the gastric juice? It is HCl. It is a hydrochloric acid. And which cell was going to secrete the hydrochloric acid? It is the parietal cell, or it is also called as the oxantic cell. So along with the HCl, it was also going to secrete the intrinsic factor. So the enzyme not present in the succus entericus. So succus entericus, it is also called as the intestinal juice. So the mnemonic to remember is DDNEL. Okay, so D stands for disaccharidase, another D stands for the dipeptidase, N stands for nucleosidase. Okay, the N stands for nucleosidase, L stands for the lipase. So example for the disaccharidase is maltase. So N stands for nucleosidase, not the nuclease. So nuclease is not seen in the succus entericus juice. So the option number 4 is correct for this particular question. So the primary dentition of the human differs from the secondary or the permanent dentition by not having which one of the following. So basically they are having they're asking you. So the primary dentition, we will not have the premolar teeth. So it's the same type of a question. So there they have asked trickier. Here it's almost like the direct one. So gastric juice enzymes. So what is the mnemonic for the gastric juice enzyme? It is PRIL. PRIL. So P stands for pepsinogen, L stands for the lipase, and R stands for the renin. So this option itself is correct. Here we don't have A, so neglect A. Here we don't have M, neglect M. So here we don't have N, so that is nucleus. So neglect nucleus. So PRIL, if you just know the mnemonic PRIL for the gastric juice, you can absolutely get this answer correct. So which of the following statement is not correct? So which of the following statement is not correct, they are asking. So basically we have to choose for the wrong statement. So the oxantic cell, or it is also called the parietal cell, present in the mucosa and secrete the HCl. So this statement is correct. Acini are present in the pancreas and it was going to secrete the carboxypeptidase. Even this statement is correct. So the Brunner's gland is present in the submucosa of the stomach. They have given, actually it is present in the duodenum, not in the stomach. So therefore the option number 3 is wrong, and we have to go for that particular option. And let's see the fourth option, that is a goblet cell present in the mucosa of the intestine secretes the mucus. Yes, even this statement is correct. So the initial step of the milk digestion in the human is carried by which they have asked for the digestion of the milk in the human. So it's actually the renin, which is a gastric juice, which is present in the gastric juice, which helps in the digestion of the milk protein present in the infant, which is very, very helpful in the infant. Which is very, very helpful in the. So the anxiety and eating the spicy food together can lead to what disease? So it was going to cause the indigestion. Hope this video will help you guys to prepare well for your need and attempt all the questions that will be asked in this particular chapter. So share with your friends, and also let them prepare well for their exams and do well. All the best.